So, we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is. Hopefully, we'll be able to complete the chapter today. It is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, text number 44. So, Arjuna is giving here, considering, he's expressing his surprise in this shloka. He has discussed about the fault of destroying the family traditions, and then now he's surprised how, in the presence of the of Lord Krishna, who is personified dharma, they are even thinking or they are even desiring to fight such a war which will lead to their ancestors being killed. So we'll chant this. We means, I mean, you can chant with me or you can whatever. अहो बत महत् पापं कर्तुं व्यवसिता वयं यद राज्य सुखलोभेन हन्तुं स्वजनमुद्यताः. So today I have two laptops, so I can simultaneously see all the devotees here. Do not think when I am reading I cannot see you. So I can see which of the devotees are active, who are hearing, like that. So Krishna has arranged all this thing for me. Hopefully my sound is coming to you. Is this somehow or other too much trouble? Yes, with the net. Aho. Aho means oh. It's like oh, kya kar rahe? Oh, oh, he's expressing his disgust in this. Oh, bata. The word bata expresses surprise. What a surprise! Mahat papam. The word mahat means uh, what an mahat means big or very huge, and papam you understand is sinful activity. So he's saying, what a surprise! What kind of sin we are thinking to do? Kartum vyavasita. So now they have not committed the sin. Vyavasita comes from the word vyavasaya. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. Vyavasaya means sankalpa. So vayam means we. So he's saying in the first line, Aho bata mahat papam kartum vyavasita vayam. They have not engaged in the war. They have right now taken the sankalpa that we will fight the war. So he's saying that even the sankalpa, even the desire to fight such a war is mahat papam. Can you see the point? What to talk of destroying the family traditions? Actually, even the very thought of destroying the family is mahat papam, is a great sinful activity. So you see how brilliant, I mean, how amazing each and every shloka of Bhagavad Gita is. We don't see it normally in that scrutinizingly. But yesterday when I was preparing for the class, I was amazed how the acharyas have very scrutinizingly seen it. Uh, Now, why you say like this? Say yad raj sukh lobhena. It's very important, very easy to understand. Raj sukh lobhena. Anybody who understands Hindi will pick it up. That because of greed for raj sukh, for having a kingdom, hantum swajanam udyataha. Hantum means killing. Swajana means our own relatives. And udyataha, udyat shabd is very nice. Udyata means uh, very enthusiastic. Udyam means parishram. Udyataha means a person who is very much enthusiastic to do an activity. Is it very clear? Udyataha, this udyataha word will become enthusiastic for doing this great sin. Beautiful. Just meditate on this shloka. Aho bata mahat papam. My dear Lord, you are directly personified religion. And in front of you, we are thinking to kill our own people just for Rajya Sukh, just for some paltry means insignificant happiness which will be derived from having a kingdom. And we must know that already he has told that if these people are killed, then there will not be any Rajya Sukh also. So there will not be any happiness. So why are we so much inclined for killing? I hope my audio at least is coming to you. Or is some problem? Freezing. Am I freezing? My voice is coming or my voice is also not coming? Voice is coming. At least be satisfied with the voice. I don't know why it is freezing. It's not freezing cold here, so I should not freeze. I don't know. 1 second. I just check. Now is I'm okay. Okay. Maybe the net connection is like this. Okay, so go forward. So we have understood the word udyata. I was explaining enthusiastic for killing. Hantum swajanam udyataha. That very enthusiastic to kill our own relatives just for Rajasuk. What a surprise, isn't it? Now you may not still understand this. Our Shashikant Prabhu can understand. Shashikant Prabhu, do you know that person where in our farm, not in our farm, that person who came to fight with us with blue eyes, and we heard that for some insignificant reason he killed his own father. Do you remember? I don't want to make you remember him, but you know that person. So when we heard this, we were surprised in disgust. What? Just for some insignificant thing, he has killed his own father? What kind of person is this? Is it not? So now this actually happens. So if we hear of such a thing, we will be disgusted. What is this? Similarly, here Arjuna is saying just for Rajasuk, some paltry material happiness, we are supposed to be devotees. Arjuna is a devotee. We know we are dharmic people. We must follow dharma, and we are even thinking to kill them. What a bad thing. So I think you understood. As long as the audio is clear, be satisfied. There's some problem with the net. It's okay. At least the shloka is not freezing, because it's already frozen. The shloka is not changing too much. That's what I mentioned. Shreyansi Bahu Vignani. If you want to do something nice, there will be so much trouble. Just give me a second. Check your chats also if there's some issue. Okay, voice is coming. Thank you. Translation. Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts, driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness. We are intent on killing our own kinsmen. So this is very easy to understand. Gita Bhushan commentary. In this verse, Arjuna, he means Arjuna, speaks about the sin in even thinking of yet uncommitted killing of relatives. We explained this point or not? That even thinking of killing our relatives is such a great sin. So he says this is what to talk of doing it actually. But here indicates a great danger. Just like Srila Prabhupada explains in one of the purports that illicit relations is so bad that even thinking of it is sinful. Even thinking about it makes a person contaminated, makes a person polluted. What to talk of actually doing it? So this is the same vein, in the same mood, it is explained here that one second, I'm getting too much distracted today. So in the same vein, he's saying, how is it that we are here even thinking to kill our relatives? Very bad. Purport. Driven by selfish motives, one may be inclined to such sinful acts as the killing of one's own brother, father, or mother. We just now discussed this point. There are many such instances in the history of the world, but Arjuna, being a saintly devotee of the Lord, is always conscious of moral principles and therefore takes care to avoid such activities. I will only explain this line. This is a very important line. Just see this. Arjuna being a saintly devotee is always conscious. What is this happening now? Always conscious of moral principles. A devotee of the Lord is, because he's Krishna conscious, that's why he's conscious of moral principles. Why? Because he knows that when I follow dharma, that will please Krishna. And because his desire, his very existence is for pleasing Krishna. So he is very much conscious that he does not deviate from the path of dharma. Does it make sense to you? Just like it is dharma that I should offer my food to Krishna, and if I don't do, Krishna is displeased by that. If I say something which is materialistic, Krishna is displeased by that. Beautiful point to reflect upon. Srila Prabhupada said this on this regard of being conscious, that is that first be conscious and then you will be Krishna conscious. Conscious means what I'm doing, what I'm eating, how am I behaving. It's an amazing point. Just one point if you reflect, and how in our life you can actually see that in most of the cases we are not conscious. I'm speaking something. Will it benefit the other person? Will it be good to him? will it be pleasing to him? So all those things are part of conscious. And is it what I'm speaking from scriptures, or I'm just speaking something which is from my mind's imagination? So you can see that that a person who's a devotee of Krishna is very conscious of his actions, his thoughts, his words, and even his thoughts. Just like we see in the case of Arjuna. How can we think of such a thing? Is it not? We have seen this statement many times in life. अरे आप ऐसा सोच भी कैसे सकते हैं? नहीं सुनते आप? How can you even think like this? Is it not? Even we say this particularly when a person says something about us. प्रभु जी आपने कोई चोरी करी है? Have you done something wrong like this? Prabhuji, how can you think like this about me? I'm such an exalted devotee. That's what we think. And how can I do like this? How can you think that can do like this? I cannot steal a Mahaprasad Rasgulla. No, Prabhuji, how can you say like this? No, it's not possible for me. Anyhow, so this is a very important point. A devotee is always conscious of moral principles because the dharma is always residing in his heart because he's a devotee of Krishna. I think this is very clear. So now it's understood. You can understand why Arjuna was even afraid of thinking to fight the relatives, being a devotee of Lord Krishna. Next sloka. Bhagavad Gita 1.45. Yet, so now a question can be raised. So you are saying you don't want to even think to fight with them, but they are not thinking like this. So if you don't raise weapons, they might kill you. So what is your argument against that? Then he says interestingly, Yadi mama apratikaram ashastram shastrapanayah dhartarashtrarane hanyus tanme chhemataram bhavet. Yadi means if, even if. Mam apratikaram, if they kill me, ma means me, if they attack me, they kill me, while I am apratikaram, while I am not defending myself. Pratikar you samajhte hain? Pratikar means to fight back. Even if I am not fighting back. How ashastram, even if I do not take up weapons, but shastra panayah, but they take weapons in their hand. Pani means hand. So shastra panayah. You see, I do not know the Sanskrit in the sense of grammar, but I can pick up by seeing the words. I can pick up the meaning of the words. I think it must be easy for you also. It's not that difficult. If you know Hindi, you can understand. Shastra, you understand? Weapons. And some words you have to learn, like pani. Pani means hand. Okay. Now here the word is shastra pani. Padayam. Now if I say chakra pani, what does it mean? A person who holds chakra in his hand. Who is that? Krishna. Rathanga pani means a person who holds the anga of ratha in his hand. Little bit Sanskrit I'm explaining. It's not difficult to understand. So he says, Yadi mam apratikaram. A person who knows Hindi can understand. Pratikar means to fight back, to resist. So even if I am not resisting, I am not fighting, by not raising the weapons in my hand, ashastram, still, and they will raise weapons, shastra padayah, they will raise the weapons in their hands and kill me. Who are the people? Dharta Rashtra. Dharta Rashtra refers to Duryodhan and party. Are you able to hear me at least, even if I am freezing? Hopefully. I'm seeing it that I'm getting freezed. Although it is not so cold, but it seems that I'm freezing. So at least you can hear my audio, it seems, huh? Maybe I'll just actually change my mobile hotspot. 1 second. It's giving too much trouble now. I think should be okay. Yes, I'm okay now. I think I should be visible. Okay, you can hear me now? Yes, it's not freezing now. So, Rade means in the battlefield. Hanyus means that if they kill me. So, Dharta Rashtra, Rade Hanyus, Tan me, Tat me, that may, for me, Shemataram. Shema means better. And Shematara, that will be, no, Shema means good. And Tara means better. Shematara, that will be much better for me. And Bhavet means it will become. So you say, even if I do not fight, and they take weapons in their hand, they means Dhartarashtra, the sons of Dhritarashtra, and Rane in the battlefield, Hanyus, they kill me, Tanme Shemataram Bhavit, I consider that this is much better for me. Is this clear? The meanings of the words are clear? Okay, we'll go forward. Translation: better for me, Shemataram, if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. Unarmed means a shastram, unresisting means a pratikaram. I think now you're able to understand. With weapons in hand means shastra panaya. Sons of the Dhritarashtra means Dhatarashtra. I think this battlefield means Rane. I think it's very clear. Once you just browse it again on after the class, then you will understand. It's very easy, not difficult at all. Okay. Gita Bhushan commentary. Even if you are disinclined to fight, who is speaking? Krishna is speaking. Krishna speaking means that the commentary has been put in a way that if Krishna would have spoken like this, then how the devotee will, how Arjuna would have replied. Uh-oh, voice got cut. Is it? Are you able to hear now? Today, so many difficulties are coming. I think some audio is coming. Okay. Krishna, Krishna. Even if you are disinclined to fight, Bhishma and others are inclined to fight and will kill you. So, what is to be done? I think it's very clear now. They will not going to stop. So then Arjuna replies, not opposing them will be my prashchita for the sin of thinking of killing relatives. Did you get this point? In the previous shloka, he has said that aho bata mahat papam. It is such a great sin that I am thinking of killing those people who have done such a great favor towards me. Why like this? Because uh, the idea is that a person who is kritagna, who does not remember, who does not recognize if somebody has done some favor to him, that is called a very great sin. So now Arjuna is thinking, these people, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, and then Bhishmatama, they have done such a amount of favor to me and to whole Pandava family. So how can we think of killing them for Rajasukh? So since we have already committed a sin of thinking to kill them, so that's why it is better for me, it will be more beneficial for me that I may perform this prashchita by not fighting with them even if they kill me. Are you able to understand this point? Okay. No, Prabhuji, we are freezing. I can't hear you. It's freezing cold. Maybe. But I think you are able to understand this point. He's saying that why try to understand why he's saying Shemtaram. When I was preparing for IIT, I give an example. When I was preparing for IIT, my maths teacher, he used to tell me that whenever there is a question, whenever there is a problem to solve, you ask the solution is there in that only. So just try to ask the question, why it is like this? Why the question is being raised? Doesn't have a relationship with the problem? So now similarly, if you think that why it is saying like this, why Arjuna is saying that it will be more beneficial for him being not raising the weapon, which is the duty of Kshatriya, and killing unresisting in the battlefield, then we have a relationship with the shloka. Then it becomes interesting to us. Anyhow, we don't have to meditate too much. The answer is given in the commentary that this is most beneficial because we have already committed a sin of thinking to kill our superiors. Is it clear? I think it must be clear. This is most beneficial. Shemataram. I made a small mistake. He did not say Shematar. He says Shemataram. Shemataram. That means in the third degree. You know that first degree, second degree, and third degree. Good, better, best. So actually best. This is not even better. This is the best for us, that we should actually commit a sin. So we have committed a sin. So I should perform a prashchit or atonement to atone for this sin. This is most beneficial, Shemataram, removing sin just by this prashchit at the end of life when they kill me. So another important point, that I have committed a sin, very heavy sin. But if they kill me, I will die, and then there will be no more opportunity for me to commit such a sin again in this life. So I will go to a better destination. That's what is an argument is. And Bhishma and other will also not incur sin by killing me in this manner. What? Bhishma will not kill, but you are saying killing a relative is sin, so they will also incur sin. So he's thinking, no, no, no. You see, they are my superiors. They can kill me, but if I am thinking to kill them, then it's a sin for them. Can you see the understanding? For Bhishma, they can punish me. I'm the junior. They can punish me. But for me to try to think of even think of punishing them or killing them is sin. So they won't incur any sin by killing me in this manner. From another example, if a king is ruling and there is somebody who's opposing in a general sense, then if the king kills him, king is not considered to be having any sin, is it not? So say we are opposing, they are ruling, so if we are opposing them, so if he kills us, if they kill us, then there is no sin on them. So both are good. I will be freed from the sin and they will not be having any sin. This is an argument which is thinking like this. Purport. It is the custom according to Kshatriya fighting principles that an unarmed and unwilling foe should not be attacked. Arjuna, however, decided that even if attacked by the enemy in such an awkward position, he would not fight. He did not consider how much the other party was bent upon fighting. All these symptoms are due to soft-heartedness resulting from his being a great devotee of the Lord. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati yakinchana sarver gunayastatra samasate sura harava bhaktasya kutu mahadguna manorathena satidhavato bhavi. A person who is a pure devotee of Krishna, a Kinchana devotee of Krishna, he has all the good qualities. And one major good quality of a devotee is his soft-heartedness. He loves everybody and everybody loves him. So because of that natural compassion of a devotee, he is feeling why I should and gratefulness of his heart. He does not want to fight these people, even if they fight back on upon him. Okay, this is the natural quality. You will see in Bhagavatam so many devotees, even if they were killed, even if they were cursed, they did not retaliate. It's like Parishit Maharaj was cursed unknowingly or not knowingly and out of ignorance by the son of Shamik Rishi. But then he did not, when he had the power to revoke the curse, even he had the power to curse the son of Shamik Rishi back, he did not revolt. No, this is the arrangement of the Lord. So this is devotee, how a pure devotee is like that. He does not retaliate, he does not want to retaliate like this. Tarorapi Sahishna. So this is the mood, this is the quality of Arjuna which is coming in front. You must remember that Arjuna is not a coward, just that his soft-heartedness because of a devotee is being invoked by the Lord more and more, and that's why he feel I should not fight this war. I think this is clear. Okay, last shloka. So we'll complete Bhagavad Gita's first chapter today, hopefully. Sanjay Vacha Evam Uktvarjunaha Sankhe Rathopasta Upavishat Visrajya Sasharam Chapam Shoka Samvigna Manasaha. Very easy to understand. Sanjay Vacha means Sanjay said. Evam Uktva, having said this, Arjuna Sankhe. So what does Sankhe means? Sankhe, what purpose is? In the battlefield. So Evam Uktva Arjuna Sankhe. Arjuna in that battle having said this, Rathopastha Upavashat. Rathopastha Upavashat. What does Prabhupada say? Upastha he says seat and Upavashat says sat down. So first he was standing up and now Upastha here means the seat which was there on the chariot, he sat down. Upavashat means he sat down. See, I'm saying I am not a Sanskrit expert. I just see the meanings of the word which Prabhupada has given and then you can pick it up from Sanskrit directly. Rathopastha Upavashat, that he sat down on the seat which was there on the Ratha. Visrajya, this I can understand. Visrajya means Visarjan, you remember? Visarjya means giving up. Sa Sasharam Chapam. Let us see what does it mean, Sa Sasharam. Along Shar means arrows and Chapam means bow. So he He sat down on the seat and then Visraja, he gave up his bows and arrows. Shok samvigna manasaha. Now you understand this? Shoka means lamentation. Samvigna. Sadha samvigna. Samvigna means agitation, is it not? Distressed manasa. Yes. Shoka samvigna manasa. So this is how, that's why Prabhupada gives synonyms, so that we can understand the Sanskrit very nicely. Shok samvigna manasa. That means he is his mind was under lamentation and distress. Shoka means lamentation. Oh, this should have not happened. And savigna means distress. He is now distressed. He is not knowing what is a proper dharma. We must remember that it's not simply a matter of, his question is not simply whether I should fight or not fight. His question is what is dharma? What is shema for him? What is beneficial for him to do in this particular situation? That is a point. That's a very difficult question. Is is very difficult to ascertain dharma in a particular situation. Just like give an example, the wife should follow the husband. That is the natural dharma of the wife. No problem. But if the husband says, cook meat for me, then so you see there are two kind of dharmas. Yes, three dharma is there that he should follow the husband. But if husband says, cook meat for me, or what I say, make whatever, drink liquor with me and all other things, then what should I do? So all those things are there. I'm just giving an example. So a certain dharma is very, very difficult. And you cannot say, just leave him. It's not like that. It may not be possible to leave him also immediately. It's very complicated. It's very complicated. And these complications are happening because people are not considering about dharma. They will only see how much a boy is able to earn, not dharma. How much the boy is dharmic, they will not see. How much a boy is, अरे थोड़ा शराब पीता है क्या दिक्कत है, ज्यादा बुरी आदत नहीं है, थोड़ा शौकीन है, ऐसा बोलते हैं ना, is little शौकीन. So instead of saying he is sinful rascal, he will say he is शौकीन. So this is the problem, and this is the problem in our preaching also. Then when we preach to devotees, Mataji is a devotee and Prabhuji is one number rascal, then what do you say? What can you say? Very difficult. Anyways, so again let us see the shloka. Evam uktva Arjuna sankhe, in the battlefield. Sankhe means in the battlefield. Arjuna, having spoken this, rathopasto pavashat, he sat on the seat of the ratha. Visirja sasaram chapam, he gave up his bows and arrows, and his mind was distressed and full of lamentation. I think this is very clear, the shloka. We'll go into the translation. Sanjay said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bows and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Gita Bhushan commentary. Then what happened? There is a link. Sanjay then replied with this verse. Arjuna sat down on the chariot in the midst of the conflict. Previously, he had been standing in order to fight and to see the opposing army. Very nice. Arjuna himself have told Krishna, Krishna, please take my chariot in between the two armies. Is it not? What is that? Ratham sthapya me chutaha yavadetha niriksheham yodhakaman avastatan. You please take my chariot in between the two armies so that I can see who are the people coming here to fight. So obviously when you actually see, now I'm like sitting, suppose you have to see the whole, get a broader vision, then we stand so that we get a broader vision of the whole situation. So this is how it is indicated. You see how minutely the acharyas are seeing it. It's like we get an extra specs with extra power of the Acharya's vision when we read the shloka. We can never think of reading the Bhagavad Gita like this. Never ever we can think like this. Very nicely. So then he says that so the evidence that he was standing is because he wanted to see the party earlier. Okay. So now we go further. So now he sat down. Now he does not want to see anybody. Is it not? This is interesting also. When we are in depressed situation, suppose the exam mein number kam aane wale. Oh, I want to close my door. I don't want to see anybody. No, I just हिंदी में श्लोक है कि किस किस का मुंह देखिए, किस किस का को रोइए, आराम बड़ी चीज है, मुंह ढक के सोइए. Why to lament for everybody? Just cover yourself with a blanket and sleep nicely. Sometimes we think like this in a distress situation. I sometimes do like, every day I do like this. I do some management. and then I take rest, then I become fresh for Bhagavad Gita class. So now, why should I cry for everybody and anybody? Anyways, this that keeps me fresh, and that's why I don't want to go anywhere from Vrindavan. Just any anxiety, just take rest, and after that, Krishna gives the solution, anyways. Anyhow, it's a matter of joke only. So here he's saying that he's feeling depressed. So people think that we are depressed, and what is the solution for depression? You read Bhagavad Gita, how Lord is the best motivation speaker. So he will motivate Arjuna to fight, but he's not simply motivating Arjuna to fight. He will motivate Arjuna to be conscious of him and and act in a way which will please Krishna. This is the most important point. From the first chapter, it is understood that inquiry about Atma takes place in a person who is compassionate in nature and non-violent, and not in one who is cruel and violent. This is a beautiful statement given by Srila Baldevi Devotion Path. We owe so much to him for saying this. Beautiful point. It's something somewhat kind of answers what Shashikant Prabhu was raising, I think yesterday or day before yesterday. It is not actually his weakness of his heart, but his soft heartedness. You must remember that Arjuna had fought the war of Virat. You know Virat war? When he was in Virat Naresh as a eunuch, almost you can say like a woman. So he fought the war in the form of a woman like a Kshatriya. So his heart is not, he's courageous. That's quite interesting. That I really, this is really funny. If you would have seen Mahabharata, that's very funny. That what is the Rajkumar's name? Uttam, I think his name was Uttam. So he was running away from the battlefield. And that Brihanala, Arjuna in the form of Brihanala say, no, 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 I have my weapons, you bring like this. So then he brings Uttar, sorry, not Uttam, sorry, Uttar, yes. So Uttar, so he was running. So now you drive the chariot and I'll fight. And he fight uh, with everybody, and he made everybody, he defeated everybody. So he's not having a difficulty there in fighting, but it is a soft heartedness, and that has been particularly invoked by Krishna just to first of all to show his compassionate nature, non-violent nature. And is another example given by Maharaj was Arjuna means Rajju. He was very simple hearted. So that's why he has no complication in his heart, he has no diplomacy in his heart like this. Very nice. I have a desire that, yeah, TV only. As a small kid, as I was in a TV, he was running away. But nothing wrong in terms of philosophy. We actually ran away from there. Something we can learn from the TV also. Sometimes they do not make mistakes. Where I was, I do have a desire someday to meet Arjuna and Yudhishthira Maharaj. They are such exalted devotees. How will you meet them? Well, they came just 500 years back. What? 500 years back? Prabhuji, Mahabharata happened 5,000 years back. Did you not take prasadam yesterday? Don't you understand this? No. In Chetan Mahaprabhu's pastimes, Bhavanand Rai is Pandu Maharaj and all his 5 sons are Pandavas. There is again a pastime in Chetan Charitamrita regarding that. Mahaprabhu himself says, you are Pandu and your sons are the Pandavas, 5 Pandavas, like this. So like this. So we can meet them in different forms also. And we also hear that when, anyways, this is the point. We can always meet them when we go to Dwaraka or Goloka, whenever we go, so wherever Krishna's pastimes are happening. Really, Arjuna is such a nice thing. I would like to glorify him more also. The queens of Dwaraka used to complain. It would have been very nice if Arjuna was a woman and Krishna would have married him. Why? Because of love for Arjuna, Krishna was always staying in Hastinapur more than he was staying in Dwaraka. So that's how Arjuna was so dear to Krishna. That's why Krishna, what is it? Sakha, Bhakto Sime Sakha Cheti Rahasyam Etad. It's a beautiful shloka. Krishna is recognizing Arjuna that you are my devotee, you are my friend. Is it not? What a wonderful appreciation by Krishna himself in front of Arjuna. You are my devotee. I mean, that's amazing. It's not Krishna is endorsing this point that you are my devotee, you are my dear friend. That's why I'm giving this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Krishna. Arjuna and Sudama. Sudama, you want to meet Sudama? Okay, you can meet Sudama also. We'll meet Sudama also. But this is especially Arjuna. And also we take inspiration from Arjuna because he took up a mission of the Lord. Not only he was dear to the Lord, but he took a very great mission for the pleasure of the Lord. Difficult mission too also. This will be recognized by Parishit Maharaj in the 10th canto, that all these people, Bhishma, Drona, were like Timangala. Timangala means who can eat a whale also, such a big fish. But still, by the mercy of Lord Krishna, my forefathers, that my grandfathers, that means Arjuna, Arjuna's son, Abhimanyu, Abhimanyu's son is Parishit Maharaj. So my grandfathers crossed this ocean, great ocean. Okay. So this is a very important point. So you should always remember, a person who wants Atma Gyan, he should have a soft, non-violent nature. A violent, Rajaguni person, Tamoguni person cannot understand this Atma Gyan or spiritual knowledge. Very nicely, this is the instruction which we get from the first chapter. Sometimes people say, first chapter has no value. My dear whatever person, you don't understand the value. There's a lot of values and to be taught, learned, and from, or instructions to be learned from the first chapter, is it not? Let us read Srila Prabhupada's purport. While observing the situation of his enemy, Arjuna stood up on the chariot, but he was so afflicted with lamentation that he sat down again, setting aside his bows and arrows. bow and arrows. Such a kind and soft-hearted person in the devotional service of the Lord is fit to receive self-knowledge. Now you see, is there any change in Srila Prabhupada books? If anybody tells you, he's just an emotional, sentimental person. What we read in Gita Bhushan is frozen for all time. Hari Parshad Prabhu, who is a very nice devotee, he's a part of Shastric Council, he made a very nice comment. He said, even if, suppose, even if you if you think, it's not like this, even if you think that people are changing Srila Prabhupada books, but the commentary of Srila Baldev Vidya Bhushan Pad and Chakravarti Pad, which Prabhupada has referred, is frozen in time. Nobody can change them. The Sanskrit is there, everything is there, and translation is there. Exact translation by Bhanu Maharaj. Now again you compare, is there any change in message? And we will teach you all throughout the whole Bhagavad Gita, and you will really laugh. Oh, there is no change in message. Have you seen any change in message? Prabhupada exactly repeating what Srila Baldev Vidya Bhushan Pad is saying. One time one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, one person from outside, your commentary looks like exactly like Ramanujacharya. Prabhupada said, yes, that's the point. We don't change anything. And because, why it looked like? Because Srila Baldev Vidya Bhushan Pad also follows Sripad Ramanujacharya's commentary. He will elaborate on it, but he will not change anything. So this is what happens when there is no philosophical discussion. Like yesterday, Mataji from one Mataji was asking this question: why should we understand so much philosophy? This, that. Otherwise, we'll become emotional. People can just misguide us. Is it not? Prabhupada books are changed and this and that. No. Now, where is the change? Now, I can challenge now. Where is the change? There is no change. So, the message remains the same. Okay. So, now, if, one second, I'll just take questions now. Questions or comments? Okay. A minute. Yes. So if a devotee has some question, I'm recording it here. If you have any question, you can unmute yourself and speak. 1 second, I'll just allow you to unmute. Finally, we have a chance to speak. Yes. So, okay. Do you have any questions? No. Because I did not understand anything from your lecture, so I have no question. Prabhu has a question? Shashikant Prabhu, you have a question? Okay. If you do not have a question, then I have a question. You could have left us now still 10 minutes for prasadams, but I will not leave you. I'll at least revise what we have asked. We have discussed. What was the sin which Arjuna is referring to in these shlokas? Question is there. According to last slide, how much violence is violence? Because every Atma has a sense of retaliation if hurt. Okay, good question. Every Atma has a sense of retaliation. That you are generalizing for conditioned souls. Just to think of killing his no, I'll allow you. First, I got a question finally, so I'll answer that. Question is quite interesting. Just to 1 second, Shashikant Prabhu, I'll allow you 1 second. Hold on. Quite interesting. The question is, please hear the question. How much violence is violence? because every Atma has a sense of retaliation if hurt. You see, a pure devotee has no sense of retaliation. Why? Because he's completely happy in Krishna consciousness and he understands that nobody can do any harm to me unless Krishna as Paramatma allows him to do that. And Krishna as Paramatma allows him to do this to me because I have done something wrong in my previous life. That's why Krishna allows. Otherwise, Krishna will not allow that person to harm me. And not to be tried at our level of consciousness, but we can try at our level of consciousness. But I'll give you examples which are amazing to hear. You know that Jayadev Goswami, who wrote Geet Govind, famous devotee, he was such a pure devotee. He was writing about Krishna, Radha Krishna pastime, and one thing he wrote, and he could not accept that Krishna is taking the feet of lotus feet of Srimati Radharani and doing some service to the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. So then anyhow, then he went to take bath and Krishna came in the form of Jayadev Goswami and completed that shloka. So such an exalted devotee. In the course of his life, he met some people who actually cut off his hands and legs and threw him in a well. And still he was happy. Inconceivable. And somehow there when he was brought out, still he said these people were very good to me. In that way I have without any disturbance I got to remember Krishna. We cannot imagine what devotees think. It's very difficult. And now another thing is that example is of one Vasudev Brahmana, a devotee of Lord Krishna. He had leprosy, is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and the insects were biting him on his body. So an insect will fall off, he will put it back on his body. He says, anyhow my body is useless, let it be used by the insects. Inconceivable tolerance. Haridas Thakur was beaten in 22 marketplaces, and Chakra was there immediately before they could beat him. Even once Chakra was there to kill the Muslims, and he said he was praying to the Chakra, you please forgive them, they do not know what they are doing. Inconceivable tolerance. That's what Mahaprabhu is amazing. Then later on, Mahaprabhu in his Mahaprakash Leela shows to Haridas, when these Muslims were beating you, because of your prayers, my Chakra could not kill them. So I had personally come and actually taken all the beatings on my back. And you see, then Mahaprabhu shows how the beatings, the marks of the beatings were on his back. Inconceivable tolerance. And then Haridas Thakur faints by hearing this. It's a very amazing thing what the devotees can tolerate, because devotees are completely absorbed in things. So we don't say that every Atma has a mood of retaliation. Devotees are not having any mood of retaliation. This is we are going to hear in Bhagavatam. This is what we're hearing, like Parishit Maharaj had no retaliation thing. It's amazing. So okay, so that's what we are seeing in Arjuna also. He does not want to retaliate. He does not want to have anything to do with material consciousness. It's all material consciousness. So now, so that point I will disagree, because every Atma does not have a sense of retaliation. Okay, even thinking of killing his own kinsman is sinful and contaminated. So as a Prashita, Arjuna said it would be better to be killed down. This is good. This is a good point you've learned. Is retaliation even the sense of Atma or just this body, dear Praji? This is very important point. I just wanted to say this. This is exactly Milan point has hit the nail on the head. Atma is blissful because we identify with the body. That's why we say, hey, तुमने मुझे मारा, मुझे मारा मतलब, मुझे मारा मतलब. So now let's see. This person gives me so much, has given me so much respect. Whom he has given respect? To the body. Or this person has disrespected me. To whom he has given disrespect? To the body. So is it because of the bodily conception of life, we have a sense of retaliation, but devotees are not like that. One comment is that Tukaram's wife used to beat him, but never retaliated. Yes, he tolerated that. But this does not give instruction to the Matajis to beat their husbands. Yes, no. Neither the neither give the instruction for the Prabhus to beat the wife. No, not like that. Okay, this is the idealist of situation. We are striving to attain that state. It's a very good point by Indra Mataji. But before that, we are so engrossed in the material world that we tend to identify as a material being and not Atma. Gyan and Jap gives us that state of awareness about self and tolerance. However, we are not born perfect, so while in the journey to achieve this state, we tend to be full of sins, including violence. Yes, it's a very good point. Being a conditioned soul, we tend to be violent, but we should hear about those devotees and we should aspire to have that kind of tolerance. Before we claim that we are a great devotee, first try to understand what is the symptom of great. The symptom, what is it? Yes, the greatness of a person must be measured by his ability to tolerate provoking situations. Srila Prabhupada explains in Krishna book. And this you will see in the life of all the Vaishnavas described, pure devotees described in Srimad Bhagavatam, that they have been very, very tolerant. The main reason for tolerance is because they're happy in Krishna consciousness. Now, okay, let's fight. Huh? Fight? Suppose if I say something bad to Milind Prabhu, I won't say. I'm saying something for drama. Milind Prabhu, you're a good devotee. Your tilak is very nice. No, this is not bad thing. This is good thing. But suppose if I say, why you have such hairstyle? Why don't you have hairstyle like me? This is much better. You don't know what is hairstyle. Why you have a beard? You are like a hippie. I'm just joking now. So if I say bad things to Milind, and if he retaliates, just for example, then will not the whole fighting enhance? And if he says, and suppose Milind is having a very nice, blissful chanting experience, Prabhu, do whatever, say whatever you want to say, hairstyle or not hairstyle or whatever. I don't care. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That is the secret. So the idea is, if we keep on fighting with people, then we'll waste our time in fighting only, we should be spent in chanting Hare Krishna and hearing about Krishna, even in present life. Now, just for example, I can see the video. Somebody comes behind from Radha Mataji's home and says, "Hey, why are you wasting your time here?" So you don't have to fight with him or her. Okay, let me waste my time. People waste time in watching cartoons, is it not? So I'm watching a cartoon show, whatever. You just don't react to it every time. If you react to people who will object, you will be always in trouble. If I go for Mangalarti, if means I go for Mangalarti, and some dogs are barking, will I have to react? Hey, why are you barking at me? Don't you know I'm going for Mangalarti? We don't react. So we can't react to everybody who says something. It's like damn it if you do and damn it if you don't. So why I'm saying this? Because we must practice tolerance if we want to chant Hare Krishna properly. Okay? Does it make sense to you? Also, purposefully we should not give pain to other living entities. As far as possible, please remember, even if a person is not a devotee, if he's ultimately servant of Krishna, if we commit violence to him, that will decrease our bhajan. That will decrease our enthusiasm for bhajan. This is a very important point to be understood. Okay. Any other thing you want to ask or say? Okay. So then we stop. Prabhuji, yes. Hare Krishna. Yes. May I say something? Yes. In regard to my question as well as the extension of that, I just want to ask one thing, because like I said, we are all striving to be like I will give my example. Before starting chanting, I was very anxious and I used to get angry. I was very chaotic. But after chanting, after getting into jap and listening to you and listening to other Prabhujis, a lot of things have fallen into place. But like you said, while I was very violent, I would say. So, but I agree to this to one. I want to add up one point, that it is not only
for according to me, please tell me, guide me if I'm wrong. Not only the quality of the Atma, if it is violent or not, I also think that it is the blessings of the Lord, whether He wants to put you in that part or not. Because Ratnakar also became Rishi Valmiki by the grace of and blessings of Lord. So I think I would not have taken up this part because there was nobody to guide me. It just happened out of nowhere, out suddenly, and I have seen the changes. So I think it is also because the Lord has, because I was violent, my Atma was violent, I was not seeking anything, but because the God gave me the direction, probably I had reached at least on the path like you said.
Okay, it's a nice observation. It's a nice observation. Prabhupada mentions this. Tolerance is a difficult quality, but it develops by chanting Hare Krishna. Because we are so much absorbed in the bodily concept of life, naturally, I tell you how why main reason why we are violent. Because we are eager for sense gratification. Just like if a person is very eager to satisfy his tongue, he does not consider how much painful it is to be killed, so that he is ready to even eat meat. Is it very clear? This you should always remember. A person who is eager for sense gratification, naturally he will not think a second thought to give in terms of giving pain to others. Okay? But a devotee, because he gets freed from the desire for sense gratification, naturally he becomes non-violent, is it not? Naturally he will, but also you must remember that there is minimum violence which has to be performed in this world, because jivo jivasya jivanam. In this world, one living entity is food for another living entity. So you cannot completely eliminate violence. But there are so many but. If you first of all suppose eat vegetarian things, there is some violence. But if you actually offer the food to Krishna, that tomato also get delivered. You understand my point? You can't offer meat to Krishna, but if you can offer nice tomato sabji or tomato something for Krishna, that tomato plant will also get benefit. And you also know, when you take a tomato, you don't kill the plant actually, is it not? So in this way we minimize the violence and we offer it to Krishna, then the defect of that violence is also removed from that. Okay? So now we shall, any other thing? Okay, so we shall stop here. We'll just do the Parayan of Bhagavad Gita and then, one second. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. One second, let's stop the recording.